Hi, just updating GME's positioning for the week. Just having a look through a couple of the indicators that we provide here at Naked Delta. The first one I'm looking at is the relative build in liquidity and across the surface, and we can see that we have just today really started to drop back down. This is on the daily, dropped back down into much tighter liquidity, even though it just loosened a bit, wasn't really a great deal. If we look at the relative liquidity down here in liquidity sentiment, we can see that we're starting to drop down into a very similar level that we were in at last April, May, going into the last event. We can see that both in the irregular liquidity, we've had this dip and charge, here we've had the dip and charge, and then we're followed by this tightening procedure, tightening activity. If we just have a look at where the DSPX is, the DSPX is really starting to drop again. If I just go and have a look at May, yes, we've still got a little bit to drop. We're in about the April position here, where we were when we were coming out of that April pullback last year. And again, if I just look at the VIX, let's just go to a couple of columns. Again, if we look at the VIX and its relative position, you know, at the moment, we really didn't fire up. Sorry, let's just get back to the right place. Here we go, here's the VIX. We didn't really fire up until about here into the May. Relatively, I don't think we're going to get to that, but as it's a gamma squeeze with a little bit of Vanna pushing it through, I think that the gamma squeeze is going to start to happen as we flatten out and we get interest rates to happen. If we just cross over quickly to the a couple of those things again, I'm just looking here. This is just the relative charging events that we've had, and we're back down to about this level, which is where we were. I've gone a little bit far, but again, you can see it's back there in November the 20th in 2020. Going through to January 2021, we're in very similar levels of liquidity. The little red and green line here is liquidity. Price is a little bit more difficult to see there, just as we've had a split since then. If we just go and have a look at the gamma, and the reason I left this open was so we could see the gamma. If we look at the gamma in a relative position from growth, yes, it is higher. That's because there's a lot more trading being done in GME as we chase it. Whether this becomes a gamma ceiling, I don't know. We can see we came from quite a low place in August, and then we climbed up into this high place. So it might take several months for us to get into this blow off, but I think that maybe we're looking at a May possible event when the DSPX and the volume, the volatility have started to drop down. If we then just go through and have a look at IV, where the IV is relative to that, we can see that we've just started to recharge here again as we recharged into this second event here. We've had quite a long lead in. IV has dropped. We're not yet the market makers aren't being pushed to the bid yet, even though we've had this recharge through this period here in the liquidity. This little recharge here, it hasn't really started to push that. And again, we didn't see that either in the January 21. We really didn't see it till quite late in the piece. And again, we didn't really see it till quite late in the piece here going into May. So we've come out of a flat period at about the same level, and then we've pushed into this May Vanna come into a high gamma event. If we just go and have a look at what that looked like from the gamma of the indexes where it was being pushed around, this is where we started in. This was the level that we started at in April, and you can see how quickly we moved into this May dip before getting the boost from the Vanna, which put us into this very high gamma position here. Now if we look at this level here from April, we're at about the same gamma level within the S&P 500 at the moment, and we could really quite quickly move into this price with a lighter market, less people playing the market. I know that there's less leverage involved, but as interest rates drop, leverage will go up, and we might have quite a quick bounce back to a similar sort of gamma level here. We don't really need to attain the same price level. We only need to be a little bit above where we are to start to see the gamma back in the market. and tightening up and get some vol compression. Anyway, that's a little update. I think that we're at the bottom of just about to start a move in the indexes, unless there's some very big play. I think it could be to do with a let off of a China deal or something like that, which I don't think is too far away. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this very quick update on GME, and I look forward to speaking to you next week. Have a good end to the week's trading.